what age would be the peak age for you to live at?
All right. Normal person,
Yeah,
we'll go like middle class person.
Retirement.
Sure.
Retirement.
That is.
So
I
what?
never
60?
would expect.
Was it 65?
62. I'll just say like 62.
Wow.
Because if you're wealthy, it's like 20s, like when you're peak, whatever.
Yeah, but most people don't get their wealth until they're like 40s.
If you're born wealthy, like it would be when you're, youngest and fittest. But like
I feel like we should talk about. I feel like we should talk about what we are.
25 to 30.
25, 30?
Somewhere in there. Yeah.
As a normal middle class.
That's also, this is all encompassing.
No, as the success rate that I'm going to be at.
Oh yeah. Oh okay.
Okay.
That's kind of
so
tough.
like
I respect that.
That's hard.
But it's like all encompassing though, like your like health, your wealth, like
all of that.
peak, just like events that are gonna happen in your life.
As a day-to-day average.
I mean, as a retired person, you're like free.
And that's
as a middle class retired person, you're finally free.
That's true, but you're also not gonna have certain things like you're probably not gonna get married, which is like a high point. You're not gonna have, you're not gonna have kids. Yeah, but exactly. But would those make that like time period the peak because you're getting married, you're having kids?
Statistically, no.
Well, no, he's saying.
I'm saying like it. So say you get married between like 25 and 35.
Yeah.
And you have your first 1 or 2 kids. Like, would that not be your peak?
Like
because
that
you're good.
Know.
You're good with health, most likely. 25 to 35.
Marriage.
Like marriage, maybe that exact day, but then like a year, 2 years later, no.
I think they're still good.
But like a year or 2 years later, you might be having a kid. So, and then a year after that, you have another kid. So like those
the amount
couple
of stress
years
that goes into that is like astronomical. Like people start losing their minds like right there.
That's an interesting point.
The minute you retire, it's like my kids are good, I'm good. I don't have to work my ass off anymore. I can travel the world. Like
all right. So what about this then? Free. So like right when you get out of college, assuming you get like a degree or whatnot, and you're working and you're making like. For now, what we looked at the other day, like the poverty line's like what 40.
The poverty line across the United States is it was 26 in 2018.
It's definitely below 30.
So in Philly, it's probably a little bit higher.
Yeah.
So like
30.
let's go like 30.
I'd say 30.
So say you're making like 45 and you're living in Philly and you're 22. Like would that not be like somewhat of a peak time where you can just like
that would be a peak.
You're working like 9 to 5 and then you get to go out like every night or on a Friday night, you get to go to a bar. You get to go to a bar, hang out with your friends, go to like a comedy club, dude. Like you just have so much freedom. You're still working.
That's also one of the you got to think that's Philly. So there's Philly, there's New York, there's Boston, there's LA.
It's the same thing though.
I mean that's kind of like
not if you're living not urban. If you're living rural.
But most people that I feel like most people that age like who have a degree and have a job like that don't live in like. Fucking like Minnesota, like the middle of Minnesota or like the suburbs. You don't live in the suburbs yet because you don't.
Well, I mean,
like suburbs are for like families.
How many people live in New York? Like how many people live in New York? Right? There's 300.
Isn't it like 130 million or something?
That's possible.
I don't think it's not 130. That's like
probably wrong.
Almost half of our population.
No, that's a third. There's 390 million people in the United States.
Yeah, it's probably like maybe like 50.
90 something.
90. I wasn't that far off.
I don't think it's 90. 90 is massive.
All right,
it's a lot.
Let's just say there's a good amount. So
70. We'll go 70.
70. Let's go 70. Let's say
that's like in between.
Let's say
that's in between what both you
said. Let's say there's 70. Okay. Let's just hypothetically say there's 70.
There's a lot.
Then yeah. So let's.
Yeah, I was gonna say 20, like 70. You know how much?
130. Wow, I was fucking.
Yeah, what did we say the boroughs had? What did Rhode Island have? Not Rhode Island, fucking Staten Island. We talked about this.
I don't know. It was like one of them.
Staten Island was like a joke.
One of them had like 500,000, and the other ones were all like a couple, like between 1 and 2, like 1.5 million.
Anyway, what are you
newsflash: underground idiots are fucking retarded. So just take that 19.5 million. So then you gotta assume Philly probably got 5.
Yeah, whatever.
If that's even 4, something.
Whatever.
Probably.
Okay, all right. Get to your point.
Okay, so all the cities, like there's only the biggest cities, the top 10 biggest cities. You probably only got 1/12 of the population. So yeah, you gotta account for the rural people.
Okay, yeah, but you got 1/12 is like city. But then
what
you
are you
also
trying to say? Like, where are you going with this?
He's saying I'm saying
I don't know
about.
Who's going
I'm painting the picture of like you also said for us, so I'm assuming that we
I guess
count.
That's fair. That's fair. Keep going that way. That's fair. You're
like
right.
in that. So my point was that like you're 22, 23, living in the city, working, making decent money for a single person living alone, that you have the freedom to go out and do things. You're still young and healthy.
Yeah.
Like, how is that?
You're
like,
not nearly as wise. Like, you don't know. You're not. I wouldn't say you're like nearly as comfortable with the world as like someone who's 65.
Yeah, but it's like part of
they
the
know
fun.
they've learned almost everything that they're gonna learn.
But
they've
also done
themselves.
everything they're already gonna do.
Not yet.
Not
They're
true.
like
it's
about to.
Like
That's
a lot of the big fun things and like a lot
They've
of the
done all
big
the
things
scary
in your
things.
life. Yeah, you've already done. You've already passed that point.
Yeah,
I think they've done all the scary things.
I'm
but
glad
they
you
have yet
feel this
to,
way
like,
because like literally it's like I feel like
the
no
fear
one
is
else
gone.
really. I feel like no one else really like feels that way. Like I feel like everyone and none of this is wrong, but like I
Well,
I
yeah,
feel
it's
like
all-
I'm
I mean,
It's
I'm
all-
not saying it's gonna be ass to be in your 20s. Like, it's gonna be great, but I'm just saying like
I feel the same. I feel
it would be
I'm
I think
actually-
those two are the arguable points. I think it's
Yeah.
young, and I think it's
No, I
I'm
think
at-
there's definitely an argument to be made for like 35.
That's me.
When
That's
you're
me.
like
I'd
you're
say
like
30.
within the first 5 minutes of marriage, you've had
Yeah.
like one kid, maybe
That's assuming
another
you
one
get
on the
married.
way.
A
You're like,
35-year-old single man. Or 30.
well, that's
30
just to me that's more of like an extension of the 23-year-old.
Yeah,
you're
but
still
except
single,
you know.
like
Yeah,
living.
but except you know more. Like that to
I
me.
guess.
you
That's
know more
probably
and you know
me.
your time is.
But I
like,
guess-
How
running
much
out.
time do we have? Like, do we have 9 more minutes?
None.
Oh, none. Oh,
Alright.
yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, I just feel like I feel like honestly the mid range like 40 is around 40 years old. Probably. Where
I
it
mean,
should
if
be.
I was wealthy, like hell yeah, it's younger.